one of the questions I always get asked as a motoring journalist is, it's all very well driving new cars and the latest cars, but what they're going to be like after 1, 2, 3 years. Well, the Motus Group have now gone very live with a website marketing all their cars, and they've decided to start giving us some test cars as journos, but not new cars. First one I've got is this Nissan Micra Active. Let's talk the Micra Active for a couple of seconds. Nissan took the previous generation Micra, dolled it up a bit, modernized a few little items, put a few extras in, and of course, because of amortization over a number of years, they could keep the price down. So this is the entry model in the range, powered by a little 3-cylinder 1.2-litre engine, giving you 56 kilowatts, 104 newton meters of torque. Very much in the ballpark of that entry level, can we call it, but not the smallest entry level car around. You come around over here, you'll see you've got 14-inch wheels with wheel covers, plastic wheel covers. Oh well, nothing wrong with that, is there? And you have a look over here. I'll open up the back door. Opens fairly wide, and if you look across, you'll see the driver's seat is set for myself, and I'm not unhappy with the legroom in the rear, and plenty of headroom as well. It's certainly more than adequate, I'd say. So it's an important feature on any car. As I said, the smaller type car. Come around to the rear over here, pop open the boot, and you'll see, well, the boot is a little bit small. It's about the 200-litre mark, but nothing wrong with that. Livable, I'd say. And you do have a little space saver spare wheel underneath over there, although I would hazard to guess that there is space for a full-sized wheel if you really wanted one. You can fold the rear seat down, but only in one piece, so just keep that in mind. And you can of course increase your luggage space to about 800-900 liters as a 2-seater vehicle, but useful to know about. You've got a sort of little spoiler effect above the tailgate over here, and you do have of course the high brake light over there, and importantly a rear wiper on the back window. So these are features you do get on the car. Overall very neat. Talking about it as a used car now, and let me tell you, this is a 1-year-old car, got approximately 20,000 kilometers on the clock. Keep that in mind. I think the bodywork, bit of dust on it because it's been to the farm, believe it or not, but it's looking pretty neat and in very, very good condition, which is what you'd look for on a used car. So just keep that in mind. Let's look inside. Starting off behind the wheel, as we always do, you can see the instrumentation's basic, but you do have that little trip computer down there in the corner. And I was saying to you, 1-year-old car, 20,713 kilometers on the clock after our test period, which has involved about 600 Ks already, so a fairly extensive period. But what I do want to show you is, that's the figure, 6.9 liters per 100. Now, Nissan quote 5.2, obviously that's your in ideal circumstances. This one I can tell you is your worst possible, I'd guess. I don't think you're going to try very hard to do any worse than that, so keep it in mind and know that that is the kind of number I think you'll get if you use this for pure commuting duty around town only. You've got electric front windows only with one touch down for the driver, and door locking over there. That's very standard. But now what is nice on this car is you come across to the center and become so vital to buyers in this category. They want your touchscreen. Doesn't matter what it is, how it is, etc. They want a touchscreen. As you can see, if you want navigation, you have to add an SD card separately. Not a problem at all. I don't see that being a problem. But you can do that. You've got a USB port over there as well, so you've got that. So you can of course link your phone, although it doesn't have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Unfortunately not yet. That would have been on previous a newer car than this. But you look around, the dash is neat, it's interesting, it's very plastic, but I can tell you that in driving the car for quite a while, and we took it, as I say, on a nice trip, it certainly doesn't rattle, shake or anything of the sort. So I've got to say it seems like it's pretty well screwed together. You've got your air conditioning over here, blasts quite nicely. You turn it up and you get a good blast of cold air coming across. So again, No complaint. 2 airbags, by the way. ABS brakes, of course. Down here, 5-speed manual gearbox. As I would expect from a car of this type and of this model, light, easy, no problems, no real comment. It's not a racing car, don't expect it to be, but it's always light and easy to drive, and that's what's important. Cloth upholstery throughout. You can see you've got this sort of weave pattern on the seats. 20,000 Ks down, they certainly, again, look in perfect condition. So again, I'm pretty impressed. And by the way, you do get ISOFIX in the back seat. So that's a good thing for young families. Well, I keep telling you this is officially a used car and 1 year old. So let's talk there. The current new price for the Micra Active is 190,000 Rand. I'm rounding it off. Excuse the few cents around the edges, but 190,000 Rand. Right now, at Motus, you can buy this one for 160,000 Rand. So that's quite a whacking discount for it. The Micra Active does come with a 5-year, 150,000 kilometer warranty. It also comes with a 3-year, 45,000 kilometer service plan, both of which will carry over to the new buyer. Very important, keep that in mind. You've got to remember that this car, for example, has still got 25,000 kilometers, 2 years left on the service plan. And that's something, if you are looking to buy a 1-year-old car, I suggest you are very conscious of what's left on the service plan. Because especially if you're buying a year to 2 years old, but it's done a slightly higher mileage, you are going to be obviously limited on that service plan period. But remember also, if you're buying from Motus Group, they're national, they're one of the biggest groups around of retailers of new and used cars. So it's important to know who you're buying from as well, that you can, of course, rely on and trust the dealership you're dealing with. So, slightly different test, but I can tell you, this one has stood the test of time for a year at least, and 20,000 kilometers. So it tells me that the Micra Active certainly can stand up for a bit at least, and is a car that you can, I would say with confidence, look at when it's 1 and 2 years old. Obviously, price, condition of the individual car come into it every single time. For Motor Matters and Motus, I'm Alan R. I'll see you next time.